Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to this Build with Glide. I'm your host, Brett Harrelson, and today we're going to be talking about Build with Glide and AI. Glide AI, how to build powerful business apps with AI. This is going to be incredible. Today, joining us is Jesus from Low Code Agency. Welcome, Jesus.
Thanks, Brett. I'm really excited to be here today.
Oh, we're glad to have you. And I know this is so. Let me give everybody the agenda for today. Jesus has built two incredible, useful apps with Glide AI that he's going to show us. First, we're going to talk about the content generator app, and then we're going to jump into Billing Buddy. Those are two different apps. So we're going to talk a little bit about content generator first, then we're going to look at it, and then we're going to take a deeper dive into how he built it. And then we're going to do the same thing with Billing Buddy. He's going to talk about it, show it to us, and then we're going to take a deeper dive. So before we jump into that, Jesus, tell us a little bit about you and Low Code Agency.
Sure, thank you. So I've been working and building Glide apps for over 3 years now. I founded Low Code Agency. We're the largest Glide agency. We have built over 300 apps, mainly with Glide. We have 16 people on the team, and we work usually with small and medium business owners or product owners, product managers, building very custom solutions for them with Glide.
Amazing. And I've worked with you a lot, and you're a huge benefit to the experts community. I want to say thanks to everybody. You've already getting some love, people saying hi to you. So if you have any questions for Jesus as we go through this, y'all just drop it in the chat, and I'll ask him the questions towards the end. So Jesus, let's jump into content generator. Like, what's the purpose of this? And what's the purpose?
So something that every business needs, and we originally built this for ourselves and then for our clients, is that you need to be very active today on social media, especially with talking about AI in search engines like Google. Things are going to change. So you have to be always active on social media and talking about what you do and how you help your clients. And it's sometimes hard to think about what to post. Like, what should I post today on LinkedIn? And then I have to do the same for Twitter. And then I have to go to Facebook and Instagram, right? So it's getting challenging. There are a lot of tools that allow you to schedule your posts, but to come up with the ideas, that is something that every business owner or social media manager has to think about constantly, right? So we built this app that allows businesses to train the model, train the app in terms of who they are, what their industry is, what they sell, who they sell to, and then it just gives you a bunch of ideas that then you can use and generate content for the different social media platforms that your company is active.
So why did you build this app? Because there's things for people to go to get that. Like, there's a million places to do that. So what's special about this app, and why?
So one of the reasons is that because of Glide's pricing model, that you can have unlimited apps for X amount of money, it just makes sense to use more and leverage Glide more within the business. We do that internally. We have a bunch of internal apps that we use, and this is just another app that, without paying more money, we can use. The other very important thing is when employees are using a Glide app, it's easy for them to understand and use another Glide app, right? So it's easy for them to work in different Glide apps because they all kind of work the same way and look the same way. So it just makes sense, instead of having to train someone on a new platform, you can even have like a shared table with all of your employees with their different roles and use that to give access to multiple different apps and have different tiers of accessibility or permissions and stuff like that. The other reason is, while there is like ChatGPT or actually, let's talk about ChatGPT. Everybody's like, why should I do this in ChatGPT? Is that ChatGPT costs $20 a month per user, and probably you don't want to give your login to your employees, or you don't want to pay for 3 or 4 or 5 seats of ChatGPT. So you can train this very specific app. I would say that this is a very small app, unlike the next one that we're going to cover later. This is a very small app, at least what we have built today, but it's very, very focused on creating content for your business, right? So it's just another tool, and we see businesses today, our clients are using Glide in multiple different things. They have a field ops app, they have a custom CRM, inventory management connected to the CRM, and then this is just another tool in their Glide tool set that allows them to be more efficient.
So let's jump into this. All right, so let's start with the content generator app, and I'll let you take it from here.
There we go. Okay, cool. So coming back to the app, As I said, I'm logging in, I'm previewing as John from Commercial Cleaning Miami, right? So in this case, I'll click continue here, and then the next screen, I have to create my company, right? So I have to add my company. So let's say Commercial Cleaning Miami LLC. I have my website, and then cleaningmiami.com. And you might be like, why is the website important or the logo important? We're going to use all of those assets in the copy, in the content that we will use later on when generating our social media content. So I'll put an address here as well, which is our office address.
So for those who may be joining, Jesus is showing us the content generator app, and he's setting up his business so he can start requesting content. And I see a lot of things here. Now, in the about the company section, is this important? Does this factor into how the AI generates content?
Yes, because it's learning who you are, and then later on you'll see who are we selling to. Something important, I wanted to highlight it here because it's like it's a cool feature that we have in the app is social media platforms, right? So here you have this drop down, this multi-select drop down, and you will choose which social media platforms your company is active on. And then based on that, we'll generate copy for each. So it's not like you will reuse the same post on all of your social media platforms. So let's say that for now, we do LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And then industry, I don't know if this is the name of the industry, but let's say cleaning services, product or services, commercial, cleaning, ideal customer. Let's do something specific, and let's say that we clean car dealerships. Okay, so we're a commercial cleaning company in Miami that is mainly focused on cleaning car dealerships. Problems being solved. We clean faster and cheaper than anyone else. Then I won't get into this, but we could edit our social media policy in case of like we want to speak, like we want to train the model and say always speak as we and don't speak as I, or use these words instead of the other ones, etc. Right? I'm not going to go into that. So I'll click here, submit. So now we have two things. We have our user profile and we have our company profile. Now that we have our company profile, the next step is I can add, by default, I'm like the owner of the app, of the company, right? So I can here see my company information, edit it, and I also can add people to my team, right? So in this case, I won't do that, but then I could add someone else, let's say my social media manager, their user, enter their email, basically click submit, and then they'll get an email with an invitation to the app with a set of instructions so that they can log in and start using the marketing AI app. Now, if I go back to home, or actually if I go to home for the first time, you can see that right away it is generating a few ideas. And then you can see that everything that I talked about when I set up my company is being reflected here. So in this case, it's generating 5 ideas. In this case, this is a how-to idea, how to keep your car dealership spotless. Commercial Cleaning Miami LLC reveals your fast and affordable secrets. Revitalize your car dealership with Miami's fast and more affordable. So you can see that everything that we put in the company description is being shown here. So here we have a couple of things to do. I can click a button to generate content, or if I don't like any of these, I could click on more ideas. So let's choose these tips, 10 times saving commercial cleaning tips for BC car dealerships. So I'll click this button, generate content.
Did you configure this where it oh, I love this loading screen. Did you configure the tips, like you're giving 5 options, but each one are very different, like reasons to use, tips. Like, did you set that up in the app?
Correct. In the backend, we have on there, I can show you that a little bit later. We have like this different set of instructions. Like these are the types of ideas that we want you to create, right? Something that we consistently see with AI-related apps is that one of the most challenging things is coming up with the right prompt, with the right set of instructions. Otherwise, either the AI doesn't know what to do and it gives you like very random thoughts or ideas, or it just doesn't make sense. And that's why you can see it's very I would say, easy today to go on social media and see either posts or responses generated by AI, because they don't have any, people are not giving them any instructions. So the way OpenAI writes is becoming kind of consistent. Right? So here we want to become very specialized, and we're telling the app, these are the types of ideas that you should come up with, like a how-to guide, a list, I can come back to the home tab. We have these different categories here. Benefits about your service, reasons about why they should hire you, right? So I think that's something important. And that is something that when we're building an app that has AI, we work very closely with our client to understand what they're offering and how they want the output to be. And then based on the output, we will build the input, which will be the prompt, the set of instructions.
So that's funny. But it's interesting with your agency, this is what you do. So you've built this to help you, and you know the top 5 things that people typically want to post about. You've programmed that into the app, and now you're using Glide AI to auto-generate it, give you ideas, generate content. Let's go into this content. Yeah, show me. So this is what I would just copy and paste into Facebook if I was on a Facebook page for my business?
Correct. So basically, this is the one that we chose, 10 times saving commercial cleaning tips, right? And then you can see here that, remember that I selected Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter /X. So it's giving me 3 different posts with the same topic that I can use in those social media platforms. So something interesting, for example, on Twitter, X, that you're not as active as I am, but these hashtags are consistent on each tweet, on each post, right? So you can see that here it's giving you 10 tips, and it's generating these tags or these hashtags. However, on LinkedIn, the way you use hashtags is at the bottom or at the end of the post.
I love this.
And then Facebook has a different set. And then if we had used Instagram, it would probably generate like copy for like a carousel or something like that. So basically, the way you would work here is you would click on the Facebook post and edit or do any changes that you want. And then in this case, you would click copy and paste that on your Facebook page. What we're doing now, we're going to launch that next week for this app, is we'll have a button that opens the post page of your Facebook, and then same for LinkedIn, same for Twitter, so that instead of copy pasting, you just click a button and it opens a web view of your Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, and then post already preloaded the text on the post thingy, right, on the text box.
I love how you have something already so incredible, and yet you're already thinking of ways to integrate it even further to make it seamless for yourself. Like,
the goal is to save time, right? That's what Glide is good for. You have to analyze every step that you're doing, your workflow, and then how can I save time? So instead of having my social media manager open LinkedIn and create new posts, then she'll just click this button from the app itself and it'll do that, right? Obviously, we don't have today, and probably we won't have like an integration to LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, because probably that's not what Glide is for. But you can definitely save a bunch of time and do the heavy lifting here, and then just having, with a couple clicks, post things on your social media platform of choice.
So, Jesus, I have to ask you, how did you build this?
So this is quite a simple app. If we go to the data editor here, you'll see that we just have a few tables, right? So we have obviously a users table, we have a companies table, and that is important because you might have multiple users belonging to the same company, as I said earlier, like an admin and their employees, etc. Then we have here the AI generator. And then actually, if I go to the companies tab here, you'll see all the details, this AI input set of columns. So in this case, this is like the training part of how AI will learn what to post. And then when I go to the content creator, here you can see all of the details about the company, the instructions. So actually, let's open this template column, which is part of where the magic is happening, right? Generate tailored social media content for company name to be posted on social media platform. The headline for this content is idea, being a headline, a type of idea. Company name operates in this industry, this sector, right? So this is the set of instructions that we're giving the app to work on, as well as the idea. And then based on that, it'll generate these responses. So you can see these pink header column. This is Glide AI. So the functionality here, the instruction is generate text. This is the set of instructions. This is the input. And then it'll basically generate an output, which is what you see, and then be able to edit and post on social media. So you can see that this is like a very linear app. It doesn't have a lot of complexity. It's very, if then else, it's a very simple line. And then eventually you're archiving all of your ideas. Then you can see which ideas you have already posted later on, which ones you used, which ones you didn't, generate more, etc. So this is just like on the back end, this is quite simple. We didn't want to use, you mentioned earlier, if we were using any third-party AI plugin extension API. We didn't, and you can see the power of Glide AI in this app. We're not, obviously, Glide AI is relying on an AI model, but in our case, we didn't have to do anything else except use the Glide AI column, and it does what we need to do, right? There might be many other cases where you need to leverage some third-party API or platform, but in this case, as I said earlier, this is just built with Glide AI, so it's housed completely in itself, and then it's quite easy for us to share this or make a copy of this app for our clients and move this to their teams.
Jesus, I've got a really good question, but I want to ask this, but I want to preface it before I ask it. I know you've been doing this a really long time. You're clearly a pro at this. How long did it take you to build this AI app?
I didn't build it. I had someone on the team do it. Probably he's like a junior developer. I don't know. Probably he spent like 3 days, a few hours.
So for the functionality of being able to give users, companies, users, right? Then their ability to tailor, to add things that they want, and all of this is a 3-day build job. That's still that's still kind of remarkable to me.
Yes, yeah, we should be able to build this for our developers, for our senior developers. We should build something like this in a day, right? As I said, this is like a very simple solution. The next one is a way more complex solution, and typically our typical build time is a couple weeks. We're making very complex solutions with Glide, like connecting with Salesforce and then sending data to HubSpot and integrating WhatsApp bots, and I mean, very complex solutions. So our usual build time is a couple of weeks. The whole project usually takes 4 weeks, but this is just a very simple app.
Yes, there's so much you can do, and even sitting here when you were talking about opening up a web browser that automatically logs you in and signs you in to submit to Twitter or whatever. Like even adding that element. As you incrementally increase this and make this more powerful and use it, you're like, oh, it'd be nice if it would do this or that. It just adds time, right? So do you want to switch now and show us your other one, the billing buddy? Do you want to switch to that one now? Okay. So just for those of you who are joining, we just looked at content generator app built by ASUS at Low Code Agency, which generated content. It was really, really cool. Now we're switching to a different app he's going to show us, which is called Billing Buddy. Okay, so we'll start with it, and then we'll show us what it does, and then we'll do a deep dive again. And if you have any questions, drop them here. I'll try to grab them. Okay, sorry, ASUS, go ahead.
Cool. Sure. So we have built for our clients multiple expense tracker apps, right? Every company has to manage their expenses. As long as you have a couple of employees in your team, you have to, and then if you're traveling, visiting clients, like putting gas to your car, whatever, you need to track your expenses. And then we have seen, based on the feedback that our customers have given us, there are like super crazy bloated solutions out there that connect to every single CRM, ERP, etc., that cost a lot of money. Or what we would have done 3 years ago, like a super simple Glide classic template that you would click a button, add a new form, the name, the category, the details, the amount, etc., and then hopefully at the end you track everything and you remember to track everything at the end of the month, right? So we have built a lot of these types of apps, and then when Glide AI launched, and we built this a few weeks ago, so even before this Monday, that was the official launch, we were really trying to understand what Glide was capable of, both Glide AI and the plugins and the extensions, was how far can we take AI in order to fix this pain that every company has. And again, this also relates to the idea of every company that's using Glide is already paying for Glide. So why are you spending $15 a month, $5 a month, $2 a month per employee to track their expenses if you can do it with Glide, right? So this is more of a proof of concept than a business app, because this is, at least for this proof of concept, we wanted to understand the capabilities. So you'll see that this has no company-wide functionality. Like I don't have like an ad. We don't have roles, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So basically, the way this app works is that we're leveraging AI, and I can show you that here on our integrations section, settings in Glide. So we're using Google Cloud Vision, OpenAI, in terms of AI, to understand either a receipt or an invoice. So what I'll do is I'll click here on new log, and then on my phone, what I will do is I will take a picture. In this case, I will upload a picture of a receipt or a invoice or something. I already downloaded a bunch of them, and let's see if it works. So what I'm doing is I'm uploading an invoice. And I don't know if you can see, I just was in Europe a couple of weeks ago. So this was a ticket, an entry ticket for a castle, right, in Sevilla, in Spain. So this is the image that I uploaded here. And then you can see here that right away, in a couple seconds, Google Cloud Vision understood pretty much everything that I have on that ticket. So the title, the amount, the currency, the bill by, etc. So I'll show you before, I'll come back to this in a second, but then I'll briefly show you the onboarding process, because this is not only cool, but important. So the first time you log into the app, you will create your account, and then you will select your currency, right? Because then you saw that charge that I just showed you, the one from Spain, was charging in euros, but my currency is US dollars, and that'll come in handy in a few seconds. And then I can also add my spending limits for my different categories. So for utilities, for my phone, for insurance, food, etc. Right? So now if I go back to my profile, hide screen, and I think I have to do it again. Upload an invoice. Let's find the one that I had. I think it's this one. There we go. Okay. So I'm uploading the same one. And then a few seconds later, you can see here. So something interesting is that AI is still not perfect. And we have to work with our clients, with the app, to make it a little bit better. So something important here is that the currency is not euros, because it has the quotations, right? So what I'll do here is I'll click edit. And then everything else looks fine except the currency. So I just have to delete the, and then this is something that we have to add to the prompt, right? For currency, don't add any quotes, etc. Then
but still, as somebody who scans in 5-6 receipts a day, instead of having to type absolutely everything in and having it auto-populated, even editing a field is so much less strenuous than doing all of this. You've sped up the process, and now it's easy.
Big time, big time, big time. It's incredibly handy to just take a picture and that's it, right? So now, if I scroll down, there we go. If I scroll down, I can see I want to show you this log, which is the one that I just submitted here. Because I didn't show you this earlier. Something important is that, remember, the amount was 14 euros, which is here 14.50. But then here it is converting that to US dollars, because my currency selection is US dollars. So the first thing, one of the many things that it's doing is not only, it doesn't make sense to add 14 to my other category budget, it has to do the conversion. So it's doing that as well.
So so you bought something in another currency, but you want your main currency to be USD, so it converts it for you. You've coded
exactly.
That. Man, that's so cool.
I'll do another one briefly. Let's see. I think I didn't. This is a complex one, because this image doesn't have like the typical format of an invoice. It is a ticket. It is a screenshot of a ticket that we bought. Okay, so this is interesting. Oh, it is good. Actually, the price, for some weird reason, the price on my screenshot is 0, and then the amount here is 0. So it did a good job of not. I don't know why it wasn't free. So, so let's do another one.
Your receipt 0.
Yeah, I wish. Let's do this one. And then you can see that the invoices that I'm uploading are in Spanish because we're in Spain. By the way, it's doing a pretty good job of understanding where it's coming from. So again, did a pretty good job. It has an order number. It has the amount. It has the currency. Again, it's saying euros, which is fine. I just have to delete the quotes. I'll do briefly here. And then I'll move on to the next thing. Submit. It has like the notes. It's pretty cool. There we go. Okay, so I was playing with it yesterday, so you can see that here in September, it's tracking my monthly expenses, right? So I've spent $800. Now I'll have to sell a bunch of different apps. But the important thing is it is giving me insights based on my transactions of the month, right? So this is a very, very, very powerful thing that AI is doing. And I think this is one of the most valuable things that AI will provide companies. Because I think right now we still see a lot of confusion in terms of how can businesses use AI. One of the best ways that I've seen AI is helping companies with is understanding data, right? In order to do that, there is a very important thing is that companies have to have data in a consistent way, like in a proper database, logged in the same way. They need consistency in their data, which a lot of companies don't have, or they have data in multiple places. And that is another good thing that Glide does, and we do at Locate, is connecting Glide apps to multiple data sources. And that way we can aggregate data and then start generating insights like this. So in this case, it's telling me you have spent a significant amount of money on travel expenses, clearly, right? PayPal seems to be a frequently used payment method for your transactions. 2 transactions labeled as visit to
I love that.
Sevilla, right?
I love the duplicate catch where it's suggesting, check this out. It might be a duplicate. I need this. I look at this, Asus, and I use a multi-billion-dollar credit card company, and I don't have this. I don't have this in my credit card screen.
Actually, I have a copy of this app with all of our transactional data from low code because I don't get this level of insights anywhere except in a custom-made solution like this one.
Like
yesterday,
I'm telling you, I'm using
it smart because the insights were telling me I found these recurring charges. Make sure that you're using the right credit card in order to get the most points. Things that I had never thought about.
Wow, and then a point maximizer.
Yes. Like really cool. Like you're using the American Express for these and make sure that that card is the right one for recurring, like, licenses and stuff like that. So that is like part 1 of the app. The next part, here you have your history. So nothing out of the ordinary here, a history of all of your transactions here. But then one of the coolest things that we built on this app is a chat with your transactions, right? Because not only you have those insights that are AI generated, so the AI will come up with whatever it thinks that is important for you to know, but then I can start chatting with my whole transaction history, right? So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so we can try it out. But what if we, let's say, how much
did I spend on travel? No way.
Let's try it. I spent. Let's see if it works. I think it doesn't do a good job rolling up records. I think it does a better job of generating lists. For example, give me all of the transactions that I did in Spain. So here, based on your transaction history, these are the 2 transactions related to travel. You have spent a total of $61.
Wow.
So, I mean, good and bad, because I was in Spain and I went to the horse thing and it didn't catch it here. Obviously, the way you ask, and this is super consistent no matter if it's Glide or whatever, with AI, the way you ask, and also with people, the way you ask is how you, if you are rude to a person, you'll get a bad answer. Same with AI. It's not about rudeness, it's about thinking how you have to ask your questions. So based on how you ask your questions, you get different answers. But you can see here that it starts analyzing your data and showing, and in this case, originally, we just had this as a piece of text, but now we have this custom collection that you can see here on the left sidebar, that it is not only giving me text and aggregating data, but at the same time, we have a collection inside of that collection that points to a list of things that it's aggregating, right? So, or you can see this other one. What category is the one I'm spending the most? Based on your transaction history, the category that you have spent the most is on shopping, and it's giving me a list of things related to the category. However, you can see here that this category is other, right? So it's a little bit inconsistent, and we have to train it a little bit better to give us the data the way we want it. But it is like one of the most powerful things that we've built with Glide AI, or with AI in Glide, is this ability to chat with your transaction history. But I can show you here.
This before. I've never seen this before, and I have credit
cards. Anyone
cards.
has done it.
Yeah, I have credit cards that are in massive companies, and they don't have this. They don't have this capability. I don't have insights. Well, maybe I have like a graph, but nothing this granular, nothing this cool, and no way to chat with my transactions. Like, and nothing to suggest. And obviously, a credit card company wouldn't do this or anything, but to suggest if we see that you had expenses from Amazon, if you had an Amazon card, you would have gotten this many points instead of like something like that. Like, that's so freaking cool.
It is.
I love that.
It's crazy. I was really surprised.
How'd you build it? ASUS?
So there are a lot of secrets on this app, but the most important one that I'm going to share is, you can see that we have this JSON, this transaction JSON. So basically what we're doing is, since the functionality of asking a question about a table in Glide sometimes doesn't work, usually because you'll have too much data on a table, and then OpenAI won't take the whole data set in order to give you a good answer. What we're doing is we're converting your own data set. We're not aggregating the whole table of logs, just your own, into a JSON value here, and that's how we can send that as part of the prompt. So you're asking OpenAI, I'm going to ask you this question, which is the thing that I put in the chat. You're aggregating all of this, your transaction history in a JSON format, sending it over, and then bringing back the answer from OpenAI. So we have here the chat table between the user and the system, right? So that is one of the most novel ways of being able to chat with a table by using this JSON column. And again, as I said earlier, we're using Google Cloud Vision on the first screen where you upload your invoice, receipt, whatever, in order to understand what's on that image and be able to find out and categorize things, which is pretty cool, because just last year, I think October last year, we built an app with OCR functionality. So basically you upload it very similar, a PDF or an invoice. And the OCR capabilities are quite limited when you have inconsistent data. So you have many types of receipts and invoices and stuff like that. AI changes the game. And that was the main reason I wanted to build this, because last time we built a thing and the client was like, it's an MVP and I understand limitations. And then I was like, we have to do a better job with AI. It does the job with 98% accuracy. And that is what, that is impressive.
I love what you're saying here. It's exactly what Chase is saying too, because like AI has kind of flipped everything on its head. Now that we have this, it takes one solution and gives it an incredible, smart, much more rich experience. Are you, like you said earlier, that you've built this tracker or baked it into other apps that other clients are using? Are you going back to some of your former clients and saying, do you want this to automatically update? Are you is that how, are you doing that and telling them I'm using Glide AI to do crazy stuff?
Yeah. Basically this is, as I said earlier, like a proof of concept. So this is not a client app. So I'm telling them, like, check out this video. There's a YouTube video that I have that covers pretty much this app. check out how this works, the level of complexity it can handle, and it's time for us to update your app. Like we can build like really, you can save so much time, right? The return on investment for an app like this is crazy fast. So we have had clients that are using off-the-shelf solutions. Now they have the Glide app. Now we can rebuild it with Glide AI. And it's crazy how efficient they become, while at the same time, which Glide has always been very good at, connecting these with multiple other things. So let's say that the company lives in Asana, right? That's a real use case. Actually, that's a client that is listed on Glide's case studies. So that client, they do everything in Asana. We have built a bunch of Glide apps for them, and everything that happens in Glide is being sent to Asana. So we originally built them an expenses tracker, and now the new version, the new AI version, will be way better because you'll give these insights to the HR manager, and then she'll understand how are people spending, where can she save money, like a credit card thing, who should get a different credit card. Like it's really powerful. We don't understand how things change until we see these things implemented with a lot of data. Because everybody's like, oh, AI can help me. We'll know that. When it's a new app, it's a little bit hard to see. But then when you start fitting in data and you see the insights that we have done here, you're like, wow. Like imagine that an app like this allows you to make $500 of points every month in your company. You pay for this app in less than a year.
Absolutely.
Just for that.
Absolutely. And I love the way you're thinking. And that's exactly what Cassandra said. By watching this and seeing this as an example, it's giving her tons of ideas of how she can do this for her clients, right? So this is amazing. And this is kind of like an aha moment, I think, for a lot of people. And I think AI is kind of like this cool, neat thing that you can talk to in a chat box. But when you see it utilized in a something that is a business solution, it changes the game. We had an AI a couple weeks, or maybe more than a couple weeks ago, where I think it was either Marco or Miguel. One of them showcased how they can add an inventory item, and by typing in the name of the wine, AI will go ahead and search and populate the box on everything about that wine, so it removes the manual entry. This is the same thing, except it's way cooler with insights and converting USD to euro. Like, I don't know of a expense tracker on the market that can do this. And you just built this in a day or two. This is insane.
No, we spent a lot more. We spent
okay, so
maybe,
but compared to what it would take for a normal
that.
expense tracker,
yes.
this is incredible.
Yes.
I love
this is just like the entryway to a lot more. So when we show this to our prospective clients or leads, they're like right now we're building an app for a roofing company. What they were doing is they were getting a PDF and figuring out the square feet of the roof and a bunch of data. Right now they're going to upload the PDF, very similar to this app. We're going to extract certain information. Based on that, we're going to generate a quote. So things that someone was sitting all day doing, like here's a PDF, find these numbers, find the square feet, find what are you going to work on the roof, upload, click a button, and get a pre-filled form that's 98% right. So they just became 100 times more productive.
I love this. I'll take a couple questions from the audience real quick, Jesus, if you don't mind. Here's a really good one. How did you make AI produce those insights? Is that one you can show?
We can find it. Let's see, where do we have that insights table? Let me find it. The charts.
I kind of want to know this too, because I'm fixing to update some of my apps as well.
Is this a table? No. Here, insights.
But it's not just expenses that you can run insights on. It's any data you have, you can run insights on technically.
Yes. Insights call. Let's see if we can find it. You can see this table insights column. Let's see the prompt. Actually, this is the template column. This is the other template column that we're pulling the data from. Here you go. Please analyze these financial transaction data in JSON format from the perspective of the end user. Identify 3 to 5 unique insights that would be valuable for the user to know. Compare the user's spending habits over time, note any category trending up or down, evaluate the user's budget, identify any unusual transactions, spot any recurring subscriptions, etc. Right? It's just about, and then the format, we want these bullet points, right? So
this would be your secret sauce. This would be something that you would train over time and tweak and change to make it more accurate and better for your purposes, right?
Yes. Yes, usually the first pass is not good enough, right? And then for that, we need data. So when you start feeding data, the AI starts spitting out something. And then we have to, like, we have a client that we built another AI app that generates spin tags. So he's using that for cold email to generate multiple variations of the same email. And then we trained let's say the AI module for quite a few weeks. And then you can see the prompt. This is a long prompt. People don't like, give me some insights. That is not enough. Like, AI doesn't know what to do. So you have to be very, very, very clear in terms of how you ask for data and try different things. And that is something that we help our clients figure out, like, how should we ask? What do we need here? What do we not want here? So we tell the AI model to not give us certain type of data or format it in a certain way. That is something that takes some time.
Jesus, we've talked about a lot. We've seen a lot. For anybody out there that hasn't done this, where would you recommend a user or an agency start using Glide AI? Would it be ideating, solving simple problems like this? Where would you recommend everybody start?
So you saw the 2 different apps that we showed are quite different in terms of, one gives you ideas, come up with new ideas. The other one is analyzing data and enhancing data and the workflow, right? So probably the second one feels way more powerful because you have data. So for businesses that are looking into using AI, you need data. So either it can be on a spreadsheet or in QuickBooks or whatever software you're using, you need ideally a lot of data or consistent data in a consistent format to be able to start using it. So as long as you understand which data you want to analyze or which part of the workflow or process of your business you want to automate, that's the pain point. And then from there, we start pulling the string, and that is something that we help our clients do, pulling the string and understand where is this data coming from. Do you have someone entering the data? Is it a manual step? Is it an automatic step? And then creating these workflow or updating this business process by adding automation software like Glide, third-party tools like Make, OpenAI, etc.
Where do you see, I'll ask you one more question and then we'll go. Where do you see this going? Like, where do you see businesses in every day in their AI? And when you start creating, when you get a new client and they present you with their problem and what they want to build, how do you, like, it's like a whole new way of thinking of ways you can tweak it. So it's kind of a 2-part question. Where do you see this going with businesses, and how do you handle that with your clients kind of moving forward?
So I think that everybody wants AI today, but they don't know how they want AI to work in their app/business, right? So it's AI is good. AI is useful as long as you have the data. So first, I'm usually like, first, let's understand your process. Let's automate it. Let's build tools on top of that so that you become more efficient, your business more streamlined. And then we always find certain areas where AI makes sense. It's usually a multi-step process of businesses working with us. So we built like version 1 of the app. It does mostly or exactly the same as they were doing, but in a more automatic way. And then now that we have more data and we see how users are behaving and users the app and using the app, then that's when AI becomes like these little robots that help employees or team members become more efficient, right? I don't want to build like a purely AI solution because businesses already have processes and you cannot disrupt things in such a way. So usually when we think about AI, it's important to be like, let's use AI our goal at Low Code is that 30% of our workload is handled by AI. And we are like the most AI first type of business out there. If you're a cleaning company, if you get AI to do 30% of your workload, that's amazing, right? So don't try for AI to do everything. Just find certain areas where it just makes sense. Like as I said earlier, the roofing company, instead of manually filling out a form, they'll upload, and that will be the first version of the app we're building for them. Upload a form and upload a PDF, and it'll generate a form. Right now, we're building another one for an RV dealership. So when the salesperson sits down with their client, they'll click record in Glide. They'll record the conversation, and it'll give the salesperson an action list of what they have to do as soon as the conversation is over. So I told the client that I was going to send them the inventory that we have in Ohio, and I told them that I'm going to send them the paperwork for for credit, stuff like that, right? Things that they forget now they have. So it's about add-ons and these little things that make the whole thing the whole business more efficient.
I love, now for those who watching don't know what you're talking about with the RV, but you and I kind of had a sidebar conversation where there's a solution you're building right now for an RV or a seller, and their salespeople. One of the pain points is when the salesperson walks up and meets somebody on the lot, they might lose something from the conversation or forget something. So you're building a solution where they voice dictate into the Glide app using Glide AI to automatically give them checklists, things to do, which kicks off some of their already existing processes. Maybe it's a reminder, send an email, maybe whatever it is. Like, how cool is that? I need that for my day-to-day life, Jesus.
We have an app. I have an app that does that. It's my app, and I can share a copy with you. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. By the way, don't forget that next week we have a Glide AI session. It's our next. We'll be talking all about Glide AI. I did see a lot of other questions about how to use it, where to find it in the chat. Not a problem. We're going to be doing a lot of that next week. I'll drop that into the description after this live session. Jesus, I'll also drop your agency URL if anybody wants to reach out to you. Obviously, you're in the community, so any experts, he's around there as well. I want to thank you for your time. This has been an incredible session. I've learned a lot, and I love the practicality of this, how you sort of demystify AI and make it very practical. So
that's a goal. Yeah, that's a goal.
This has been incredible. Thank you again for your time. And for everybody out there, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next Build with Glide. Thanks again so much. Bye, y'all.